I'm 25, and my sister Jessica is 27. We've never been the best of friends, but we weren't enemies either. Just two siblings who tolerated each other, mostly because we had no choice. Growing up, she always had a way of making things about her, and I learned early on that the best way to keep the peace was to stay out of her way. I still live with my parents, not because I want to, but because I'm saving up to move out. I have a stable job, a decent salary, but in this economy, renting on my own is expensive, and I'd rather wait until I can afford a place I actually like. Jessica, on the other hand, has always been flashy with money. She just bought herself a brand new luxury car, a car so expensive, I don't even understand how she managed to afford it. Of course, she made sure everyone knew about it. She drove it to every family gathering, took endless photos, and made passive-aggressive comments about how some people would never have nice things if they kept wasting money on frivolous things, whatever that meant. Lately, she'd been acting weird, more smug than usual. She kept making these little digs at me. Things like, maybe if you worked harder, you'd have your own place by now, or public transport must be exhausting. I don't know how you do it. I ignored it. It wasn't worth the fight. But then, one morning, everything exploded. I was in the kitchen making coffee when Jessica came storming in, screaming at the top of her lungs. I barely had time to register what was happening before she was in my face, shoving her phone at me, yelling about how I was a jealous psycho who had taken things too far. Confused, I took a step back and finally understood what she was saying. Someone had keyed her car. Badly. Deep scratches ran all along the driver's side, and she was convinced that someone was me. She wasn't just mad, she was livid, shaking with rage. She kept repeating that she knew I did it, that she had proof. She swore up and down that she had seen me outside late at night near her car. I hadn't even left my room. I told her that, but she wasn't listening. Our parents rushed in, alarmed by the shouting. Mom immediately tried to calm her down, but Jessica wouldn't stop. She pulled up a blurry image on her phone, a grainy security camera screenshot from the neighbor's house. It showed a vague figure near her car at some point during the night. The image was so blurry it could have been anyone. It could have been her. It could have been someone passing by. But no, in Jessica's mind, it was me. Dad looked at the picture, sighed, and muttered that it wasn't clear enough to prove anything, but Mom hesitated. I could see it on her face. She wasn't sure. And then she hit me with the worst sentence possible. Why don't you just apologize and move on? It's not worth fighting over. I couldn't believe it. I hadn't done anything. Why should I apologize? I refused. But Jessica wasn't backing down. She started crying, saying she worked too hard for her things, that she had always been good to me, and this was how I repaid her. I just stood there, stunned. There was no reasoning with her. And then, things got worse. Jessica went online. She posted about how a certain family member had vandalized her car out of jealousy. She didn't name me outright, but it was obvious who she was talking about. Our mutual friends saw it, and soon I started getting messages. Some were asking what happened. Others flat out called me a horrible person. The gossip spread fast. Then my boss pulled me aside. Someone had forwarded them the post. They weren't accusing me of anything, but they made it clear that if this turned into a legal matter, they didn't want the company's name associated with it. I was humiliated. And then the final blow, Jessica filed a police report. I found out when an officer called me, asking if I could come in for questioning. I wasn't arrested or anything, but the fact that my own sister had gone this far made my blood boil. I showed up, answered their questions, and told them exactly what happened. I was inside my room all night. I could even prove it with my phone's location history. But that wasn't enough for Jessica. She wanted me punished. Back at home, the tension was unbearable. I couldn't even look at her. I couldn't understand how someone could be so cruel. That's when I decided I